Johnson. Hi, I'm Vaughn Johnson. I'm signed up to give public comments to read today at the County Commissioners Meeting. Downtown Graham is my epicenter. As father, me and my son have always enjoyed downtown Graham. From the soda shop to the Muse, which is the only black-owned business in downtown. My 5-year-old son and I had never felt unwelcome or unsafe. Over the last 6 weeks, that has all changed. It started when me and a friend, the owner of the Muse, and a black woman decided we would go to the Beer Co. and have a drink. On the way, we were met with comments like, "Look at those N-words, and do they know where they are at?" As a resident of Graham and a local taxpayer, I felt from that moment that I could no longer bring my son downtown. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have small children in your lives, but trying to explain to a 5-year-old that he can no longer eat ice cream or spend time in his favorite area because the color of his skin is something no parent, cousin, uncle, or Alamance County citizen should have to do. I ask you as a parent, what do I tell my son when he asks me why he is no longer welcome? To save his allowance and spend it at the Graham Soda Shop. County commissioners and elected officials, what do I tell my mother and father when they ask to visit? Because I can't ensure their safety or promise they will be treated with respect. I ask you, our so-called leaders, to give me direction. You want my trust, earn it. Next, we have comments from Reverend Tamra Kersey. My name is Tamra Kersey of 1045 Camelot Lane, Graham. The last time I made comments to the commissioners was approximately 3 years ago when threats of pollution, along with loss of land and property, threatened the well-being of the members of the congregation I pastored near Saxbaha. Therefore, it is with deep respect that I submit these comments in appreciation for speaking once again on behalf of the marginalized, terrorized, and mistreated members of this community where their well-being is threatened. I am a child of an immigrant. My mother was born and raised on a small island in the West Indies. She has managed to raise all 4 of her children as law-abiding, contributing citizens of this nation. It is with this experience that I share concerns about the hunting and road policing of Latinx community members. While it is admirable that funding has been granted and is made available for human trafficking, it is also an immense contradiction to the trafficking of Latinx members of our community. Due to racial bias, demographic data for the Latinx community has been skewed to highlight risk without context. Misquoted information has been used to demean and diminish the value of human life, evidenced throughout the increased exposure to COVID-19 by sending detainees to detention centers. The stereotypes and prejudice of the Latinx community members, stating that they all are illegal, illegitimate, is the same guise under which enslaved black people were subjugated, experiencing centuries of trauma and torture. At this writing, community members have been made aware that the Warrant Service Officer Agreement was signed in January without public notification. If this is accurate, these types of surreptitious practices, along with racial biases, contribute to the vigilante methods used against persons of color who are not a threat to society, but tax-paying contributors of the economic capitalism many of us are privileged to enjoy. As a faith leader and a child of an immigrant to the United States, much like all members of the Commission, I ask that you repeal this agreement, for it is another way to perpetuate the stigma of bodies for economic gain and creating an income source for marginalized communities. It also upholds the ideology that black and brown persons are second class, 3/5 humans with no right to the promise of liberty and justice for all.